Hello, Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you for joining me for day 24 of our 30 days of yoga. Today we are going to be doing a very slow and stretchy flow with the strap. So make sure that you have your yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, that's absolutely fine. You could use a dressing gown tie. It's a really good option. If you don't have that, then maybe one of the kind of stretchy bands or whatever you can find around the house. So we're going to start in a lying position today. So I want you to come down, find a comfortable lying position, and we're going to ground here into the practice, and just make sure that you've got your block to hand, so by the side of you. So starting to close down the eyes here. You can have the palms of the hands facing upwards. Start to allow your shoulders and your hips to sink down into the ground. As you inhale, see if you can allow the belly to expand with your in-breath. And as you exhale, letting the belly draw back in. So taking deep breaths. Into the belly. Imagine the belly like a balloon expanding with air as you breathe in. And then drawing back in, balloons getting smaller and smaller as you breathe out. Noticing any sensations in the feet, the hands, or anywhere within the body. And start to circle the ankles here. So moving the feet around in one direction and going around in the other direction. Coming back to stillness and start to circle the wrists. Moving around. Coming back in the opposite direction as well. And then take a big stretch with the arms up and over above the head. And on your inhale, reach your fingertips back. Stretch your toes down, really stretching, reaching, and exhale, relax everything. Inhale one more time, stretching. So fingertips reaching back, toes pointing down. Really stretching as much as you can. And exhale, release, relax everything. You can take a releasing breath out through the mouth if that feels good too. Sighing out. And then bending both legs from here and taking your strap. We're going to bring the strap to the ball of the right foot. And start to lengthen through that right leg, and you can draw the hands down the strap here so that your arms meet the mat. Now this right leg doesn't have to be straight, it can still have a bend in it. Just come to a place where you can feel the stretch. And then option from here to lengthen that left leg, but only if that feels good for you. And then you start to use your strap to create some resistance here. So creating as much or as little resistance using your strap as feels right for you. So really opening into the back of the legs. Breathing, sending your breath into the hamstrings, the calves, anywhere where you can feel that opening taking place within the body. So listening to the body, noticing The difference between pain and discomfort, you know, sharp pains and twinges could be a sign that you've gone too far. But discomfort is something that we can breathe into. Now bringing the strap into the right hand, start to open that right leg out to the side, so externally rotating that right hip. And again, you can have a bend through the right leg if you need to. Breathing here, opening into the hips, the inside of the right leg. Letting go. And if this is feeling too intense at any time, taking a break, easing off. Often store lots of tension, lots of emotions in the hip area. So being mindful of anything coming up mentally, physically, and emotionally. It's all connected. It's all integrated. Well done. Draw the right leg back through to center, and then try and keep your hips connected to the mat as we bring it over to the left side. So really deep stretch into the outside of the right leg, into the right glutes, the IT band, the piriformis, all these muscles here. Breathing. And starting to come back to center, release your right leg from the strap and let it drop down to your mat. And take a moment here to notice how the right leg feels. Notice any space you've created within the body. Maybe that right leg feels longer than the left leg now. Bending both legs back in. Take it over to the left side. So bring the strap around the ball of the left foot and start to lengthen through your left leg. Doesn't mean that it needs to be straight, it can still have a bend. And the more supportive option is to keep the right leg bent, using that right leg to stabilize, or you're going to lengthen through the right leg and start to maybe draw the left leg in towards you. So really opening up to the back of the left leg. Reconnecting with your breath. Maybe on your exhales, imagining letting go of any tension, any stress that's not serving you. Now bringing the strap into the left hand, making sure that you've got your space. And we open that left leg out to the left side, so opening into the left hip space. Breathing here. Doesn't matter how far out that leg comes or not, just focus on the feeling in the body. So can you feel the stretch? Can you feel the opening? Have you gone too far? Where's your limit? Always coming to that place before your limit. And quite often the ego wants to push us into the fullest expression, or what we believe the fullest expression to be, of a pose or a stretch. Sometimes that's that little voice in our head telling us that we must push further and push harder. And sometimes if we just bring the awareness really and truly into the body, just focusing on being aware and being present, that can help us to regulate and to really understand and know our limits. So that place that dwells behind the thinking mind, that place that dwells behind the ego, that knowing part of you, the wise part of you that we all have, that we can all be connected to. One more breath here, well done. And we'll float the left leg back through center, and then keeping the hips connected to the mat, take it over to the right side. This can often feel like the most intense one because we're closing the hip, we're internally rotating with this left hip. So this is a stretch and a range of movement that we are not always that used to. And sometimes when we do these types of stretches, the letting go, the surrender, Svara Pranadhana, can really help to just allow the body to do what it needs to do, to sink into that place, let go of some of that resistance that we all feel. Well done, and releasing the left leg back to neutral. Take the strap away, let the left leg drop down to the mat. Take a moment to just notice any space you can now feel within the body, any of that space you've created. And now you can bring the hands behind the thighs here. And we're going to start to gently rock the body. So start to switch on through the core, bringing some gentle movement in. And then I want you to see if you can rock your body up to seated. And finish off just popping your strap around the balls of the feet. Inhale, lift the crown of the head to the ceiling. Exhale, folding forwards into your Paschimottanasana, keeping the spine long. Breathing here, really using that strap for your resistance. You might be able to feel a little stretchier in your Paschimottanasana after those lovely strap stretches we've just done, and they're a great thing to work into your kind of regular routine if you can, just releasing a lot of that tension that we often hold in that area, the hips, the legs. And working with the strap in your practice is a really great way to help give some resistance to some of these movements. So keep leading with the chest here. One more breath. And then inhale, coming away from the fold, releasing the strap. Well done. Take a little shake out through the legs if you need to. And come back to your comfortable seated position on the mat. Closing the eyes. And we'll take a releasing breath. So breathing in through the nose for 1, 2, 3. Breathing out through the mouth. Letting go. Opening the eyes back up when you're ready. Thank you so much for joining me for that short and sweet